Hi, I'm Dennis Carter, and today I go one-on-one with Appomattox County head football coach Doug Smith. One-on-one is presented by Kids Cleaning and Restoration Services, there when folks need them most, serving the Lynchburg area for the past 45 years. Doug Smith is a one-time Liberty University player. He's revived the program and football community in Appomattox, guiding the Raiders to 4 state championships in their last 5 seasons. And off the field, Smith has given so much back to his community, organizing great cleanup efforts after the tornado ripped through the area 5 or 6 years ago. He's also helped the healing process after a number of teen suicides, created the Power of One mantra the team and community live by. Such a great encourager and leader of young men. Doug, it's great to see you again.
Good to see you too, Dennis. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I think the last time was actually at my retirement farewell when you graciously stepped in and said a few lies, a few good things about me that day.
Yeah. No, they were all true, and you're greatly missed still on the station.
I appreciate that. Doug, first things first, how are you feeling? For people who don't already know, you were diagnosed with multiple myeloma, a cancer of the plasma blood cells in the fall, and began treatment in early November. How tough has this battle been?
You know, as a coach, as an athlete, you're always used to fixing things. And, we never go in a game with a problem that we don't think we can fix. If a player, sees this, we're going to fix it. If we're going against a team that has something tough to battle, we always, hey, we can fix it. And I think that's always been my attitude really my whole life. There's nothing that you can't work through. And so when I was called by my personal health doctor, our family doctor, to come in. He called me and said, "Hey, we need to get you and your wife in here. We think something's going on." And he's a great man. And when he told me, I'm hearing one thing, he's saying something else. My wife's kind of crying, and I'm hearing something different. Because I'm hearing something that's definitely, you can fix this.
Right.
And, he talked about, they just took the x-ray. It hadn't been a C scan or anything like that yet. But through his x-ray, he knew, he felt like, possible tumor here and hip and my back. And, so I'm hearing tumors. Hey, just get those out and we're good, and my wife's hearing something different. And then I'm asked to come back for the, I guess it was something else for the C scan. I forget what else they do before that. But, where they can see your bones and they can see everything. And then by the time I got to the cancer center, when it's just started to hit me, because my radiologist there was saying that, I'm going to show you the x-ray. We don't have to show you this because the last person that we showed one like this to, the man passed out. And, I said, no, I want to see it, and so, when he showed it to us, it's what it is. It's through all your bones, so it's especially in your chest and then all over your head. And, so it looks fairly, like, oh, wow. But again, I think my mindset was, well, let's just attack this thing, and still I think the very first 5 days of radiology, I started at 185 pounds and I got down to 159. And
wow.
So it was bad. They actually were thinking I was having some kind of mental breakdown or whatever, but that wasn't it. It was just, I could smell the sternum burning in here. And then I couldn't use the restroom correctly because the radiation, they were hitting down low. My radiologist was saying that she didn't understand why my femur wasn't broke because the cancer had worked all the way through the femur bone. Just about, and I was running and jumping out of the truck and, stuff like that before that. And I think back, it's really a blessing. That was in August. And if we'd had a regular football season, I probably would have just went through the season even, because, when your motivation is so, so really it's just a weird time that it happened. We already had a weird 2021 anyways, so might as well count, add right to it. But yeah, so those first 5 days were tough. I think back, I still didn't think that this was going to be a big deal. But those first 5 days, I can just remember, everybody else going to sleep and I'm pacing and thinking, what's going on? I can't go to sleep. I can't eat right. I can't, So that part was bad. But I told the kids on our team, it was a lot like our last season. We started off 1-2, and it didn't look good, And then it just started getting better, when you just believe and just keep on working. And thank God that I'm thankful I'm a believer, because I put so much of my faith in Him, and even though you pray and you ask God to help you, sometimes you just don't hear Him, and I didn't hear nothing. I wouldn't hear nothing back. But you still, in your faith, you still do it. You just keep on. And I think that's what He tells us to do. He's going to make us be patient sometimes and wait. And that's what He did. And then He just started flooding me with blessings, one after the other. And I've got all my weight back. My last weigh-in was 191. That was my last one. And then, I'll fluctuate 5 pounds, but I'm getting that back. My energy's back. And the radiology was tough. I'm on a 9, and what it is, it's a 12-week, it's a 4-cycle, 3-week cycle, 4 3-week cycles of treatment right now, of pills and injections that I hate. I cannot stand the blood work or the injections, but it is what it is. And motivation for that is my family doesn't have to do it. My grandchildren don't have to do it. I'll do this, for sure. Yeah. And so that just keeps me coming back and saying, stick me, go ahead, do it, whatever. But great doctors, Dr. McNeil over there at the Cancer Center, and the whole group over there, the nurses, my goodness. You go over there, I hate hospitals, but man, you learn to love these people. They're such caring people. So the whole process has been tough. I'm on my last quarter right now. I broke it up into quarters like a game, and then the playoffs come in when I'm going to Duke here in March for the
stem cell transplant.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where I'm headed now.
And then after that, you've got another 12 weeks of chemotherapy.
Yes, another 12 weeks of this, whatever I'm on right now. It's kind of a pre-chemo deal. I mean, it's about 4 to 9 pills a day, and then the injections and stuff, about 4 of those a week. So, and then different other shots of bone shots and other stuff too. So I think I have to get my vaccines all over like you're a baby. So that makes it rough. So I haven't got my COVID yet. So sorry, guys. Yeah.
Well, we haven't either.
Yeah. So we're just trusting right now, I guess. But yeah.
Coach, how did you find out about this cancer? Was it through a regular checkup, or were you having problems that pushed you to set up an appointment? How did you find out?
Yes, I was having this sciatic nerve issue, and I never had one before. And I was like, Ellie, what's going on? And I couldn't get that straight. I was picking up a weight one day in the weight room, and I got this pain in my sternum, and I thought, that's weird. So every time I pulled something to me, I had this pain in my sternum. And at first, they thought it was something else. It was something to do with your cartilage in your ribs, and I can't remember the name of that. And that's what it was, or that was in like March of that year. So it had been going on for a while. And a lot of people that get multiple myeloma, they go because of a broken bone. And that's what she told me. She said, so, you're really very fortunate that you didn't break any bones yet, because that's usually what happens. Your bones break up because these lesions work through your bone and then take all that away. But now they have a shot they're giving. I don't know what that shot is to strengthen your bones. So that's helping. And then all the medicine that they're giving is helping slow down the cancer. And it's supposed to have a lot of different side effects. And I've been very fortunate. I've only had a rash a little bit, but nothing major. Not any kind of nausea or anything like that. But that part's been good. So the medicines they're using are incredible. And of course, I credit a lot to God and Him seeing me through a lot of it, because a lot of prayer in my household, but through the community, a lot of friends and people that have prayed, and I'll never take any of that for granted. So I know that prayer works.
I know you're really active. You keep yourself in great shape. Do you ever ask yourself, why has this happened to me?
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I'm sitting at the doctor thinking, okay, I got this fixed. I'm sitting at the radiologist thinking I'll get this fixed. And then at the end, I think about a month into it, it didn't hit me till about a month. And my wife's looking at me like, are you an idiot? We've been talking about this. But I asked her, I said, after the end of the month, I said, her radiologist, I said, and she's a great lady and has done this and does a great job. And actually lives in Appomattox now. But I said, will I be able to work out? Can I do some push-ups? And she just looked at me and said, I've never had anybody ask me that before. And you don't really understand what you got, do you? And I said, no. And she said, this is forever. You have a long-term thing here. It's not going to be going away anytime. You'll have this forever. And the best that we can get you to do right now is to walk a mile. If you can walk a mile a day, that'd be great. And I just looked at her and I was really aggravated because I was like, I don't want to hear this. Because I was talking about, working out like body squats and, light dumbbells and that kind of stuff. And for her to tell me I wouldn't be able to do it, I didn't know how else to put on weight because I have that issue where I can eat, but I don't put on weight. But if I work out a little bit, I can put, a little bit of weight on. And that's what I felt like I needed to get comfortable. And so that was pretty depressing. But, so I asked, why? Why did I get this? And I asked her that. And she said, no doctor can ever tell you that. It's a genetic disease, but you don't give it to your kids. And so you don't have to worry about that. You didn't get it from anybody, but it's genetic. And I still don't understand that. But basically, they don't know why you get it. So they've never been able to figure that part out. It's just one of those things. And so I looked, in my prayer life, and I was talking to God, I was like, well, you've done this for some reason. And honestly, the best thing that's happened to me is slowed me down. It's just made me stop. And I hate to stop. I hate sitting in a chair and doing what I've been doing, which is reading, watching people around me, and that happened for the first 6 weeks. And I hated it. I would watch my family and I'm like, they don't do this all day, do they? And they were sitting around too. They had no problem sitting around and just talking and watching TV but that's what, they were used to doing that. And I was kind of seeing some things that I didn't see when I wasn't there. I'm always at practice. And a lot of times they'd hang out and talk and fix dinner and, and then I come and eat and, and so play with the kids. But now I'm there all day. And that was just tough. And I hated it at first. In fact, the first 2 weeks, I couldn't even sit with everybody else. I'd be throwing up and everything I smelled in the house was terrible. So that was the miserable part. But so I just kept asking, why this, why that? But God answered and told me, slow down. I want you to know me more. And what what happened, I found out was, you start checking your life a little bit. You really do. And there was things, character issues. Why did I tell this person this? That wasn't the truth. Little things like that. Little character things come up that you start thinking, God, I can do this better. I can be better here. I can be better there. And all of us know we're all, have issues that we can always try to improve in. But it made me stop and think of those things and ways that I can improve being, better dad, better husband, better coach, better teacher, better son to my mom. Just a lot of little things like that. And through this COVID time, of course, it's always hard to do things, but I can still keep in touch by texting and I send out notes every day to our team and to our kids and a lot of our kids that graduated. They got probably about 100 of those that I still text, and they get notes every day. They get a verse and a quote or something, but it's just a way to kind of keep in touch with them. So it's allowed me to slow down and just stop and do those things more and every day. So
I know folks in Appomattox and surrounding communities have really come out and shown great support for you. Awesome. I know I see you on billboards in Appomattox. There are tons of fundraisers. You've got to be feeling the love. What would you like to say to everyone out there?
There's no better community to coach for than Appomattox. I mean, I don't care where you go. You could go around the world. And I know there's some good ones out there. And there might be more people. And there might be more funds and that kind of things. But no better community than them. They love you. They support you. They let you be who you want to be. They're just a great group of people. And I know, our philosophy is always involve the community. It's to me, Appomattox is their school. It's their team. I just happen to be a part of it. And so with that philosophy, it's helped because, you'll see a lot of our games. We'll have hundreds of people right there at our circle at the end talking.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very supportive. I've had it the other way. I've had, people, want to yell at you. But, since we've been able to win, it hadn't been so bad. But sometimes that could be dangerous, but we've always felt, hey, if we can't speak to everybody, then, what are we going to keep from the team, keep from the community that we're going to share with our team? This team is their team. So that's kind of been our philosophy. I think that's helped a lot. They feel it. They feel that,
the power of one.
The power of one. They feel that ownership, and I think that's helped. But, we still, I know, coaching is just one of those things. You win, you get that a little bit more. You lose, you might get the opposite a little bit too. But I think that community is one of those that if you're losing, they're going to still back you. And I'm not, you're always going to have that few that are going to come to see you lose. But for the majority, there's just a great group. And really the whole surrounding community. I mean, I speak with coaches in the city and the counties all the time. And, I don't want to mention all of them, but most all of them I've talked to that we play. And they're just so gracious and just so awesome to be able to speak to them and how they give you support. And I've got cards and things in the mail that have just been a blessing. So it's been crazy.
One of the fundraisers recently announced is the Smith Strong Golf Classic that they're going to hold in late July. I'm sure
Jamerson.
head pro Faber Jamerson and some of those golfers at Falling River who are putting this together. What do you say to those guys?
Just what a blessing! What another blessing, because our the stuff that we're doing now for this cancer. You're always going to have your insurance, but you have your out-of-pocket stuff. And of course, all these years, I don't pay the higher. I always pay the high deductible, which is, because I never used it. So I've always paid the cheapest I could pay for the most you can get, and that's usually a real high deductible. But so that's just been a blessing because we've been able to meet all of those bills. My daughter Noelle, middle girl, is getting married in July, and so now my wife can put all of her money towards that because that's an expensive deal that I never knew was how high that was. My first one got married. I took care of that one. That was painful. She's trying to take care of this one because she is in realty now, so that's been able to help. But she's been able to put all that into that because our bills have been met. So that's been a blessing. And so this next year with the new deductible, Coach Jamerson and that group are going to help get that out of pocket. And I'm just so thankful. It's a blessing. We got to stay at Duke for a month. That's going to be expensive, and that doesn't come from that, because it's out of state. So, all those things. It's just a blessing to know that people are helping you. We don't deserve it. I can tell you that right now. And I told my wife, if we get more than we need, there's so many people that need help. There's so many. I didn't realize it, but you sit in a parking lot, and you just watch people get out of a car. I never do this because I'm always running into the store and running back and just running by people, maybe get a cart for somebody once in a while, but that's it. But you sit and watch, and there's a lot of people limping and, there's a lot of people hurting. And I know a lot of them now because I'm seeing them at the cancer center and talking to them there. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing how many people have got something that's, really, and I know they don't get the help that some of us get that are, maybe out in the public a little bit more. And that's the thing, is there's a lot of people that need it. So we're blessed to have it. And thank you, Coach Jamerson and Faber and all that group that's working. Jay Wingfield. I got to mention Jay. I mean, we call him POFO, President of Football Operations. He's the one that recruited me to coach there, and he called me from another country. At his time, I think it was 3 a.m. So, anybody want to blame me for being Appomattox, it's Jay Wingfield.
Football practice is underway. The season finally begins in late February. I know it's tough for you not being out there, but you were telling me about a way that you are still part of practices and hopefully games coming up.
Yeah, and
explain that.
Yeah, through the summer it was good. We had our weekly meetings with different groups, lineman group, backs group, defense groups, and that was great. And then we got into the school season, and it was tough because it was just workouts. So I think I did one little FaceTime or one little, we used Google Meet with the kids during that time, but mostly just conversations through text and phone calls. But once now we're closer to the season, I got to go to their first practice, their first day. and I got to speak to them for about 10 minutes, which was awesome. And then to watch them get ready. And it was a smaller group because they hadn't had basketball out yet, and a couple of the guys hadn't got their physicals, believe it or not.
It happens every year,
Yeah,
doesn't
every
it?
year, yeah. And so the numbers are kind of picking up this week with helmets on, but I'm doing my best to kind of leave our coaching staff alone, because really the kids aren't going to see me. They're going to see the kids. They're going to see the coaches. So as far as like, telling them, what we need to do this day, they're seeing it at practice. And so for me not to see it live right then, it's better for me to let them do the schedules. Although I sent them the personnel groups, and I sent them, ideas of schedules. Coach Costello was our defense coordinator. He's going to be our offensive guy and working in my spot. And then our special teams guy is going to be Sam Ruff, and our defensive coach is going to be Coach Turner. Golly, this is terrible. Ricky Turner. Yeah, thank you. I see my coaches. Sorry, but Ricky Turner, and then the other guys that are there. We have about 10 coaches this year that most of them are not working at the school. We got Josh McGowan. He's working at the school there with us, and then we got Coach Davis working at the school as well. But that's it, so those three. And then the others are from outside. They're working other jobs, and so it's tough. But they're going to take that role, and so it's going to be interesting. They'll start filming practice as soon as we get pads on, and I'll see that just about live a few plays later. Actually, when they get it downloaded, they might download it immediately. So I'll be able to see that. And then the game time, they're going to work on I'll see the NHFS camera from the sideline, which they're coming to film every game, and then I'll see the back view somehow. We're either going to have it on iPad filming to me or through the monitor. So I'll be able to see the game pretty much live, back view and side view. How I'm able to communicate with the sidelines, I'll have to talk to Virginia High School League about that. But I think it'll be just like I'm up top. I don't think they're going to have a problem with it, but I don't know. Maybe they would.
Well, it's good to hear you still got your hand in it. What's the best thing that we can do for you right now? Because you have so many people that love you, support you. What can we do for you?
I just would like to get this message out to anyone that's interested, is that God has been great, and prayer has been probably the most important thing. That I've felt it. I get days of I used to get maybe 4 or 5 bad days a week, and then a couple of good days, and now it's like 7 good days a week. And I just credit that to just to answered prayer. So thankful for their prayer, y'all's prayer, and just getting out that I'm doing good. Things are going good, and you get this thing in your life that says, hey, guess what? You're dying of multiple myeloma, and the average days are 5 years, but we got some guys doing 10 and 20 years, and you hear that, and that's kind of man talk, and I understand it. That's the way they got to go by stats, but at the same time, God's plan, I think, is a little bit more exciting to follow. It's so exciting, and so I'm really looking forward to what He's got for me. I'm not gone yet, so I know He's got a plan, and so I'm looking forward to that plan. And so really, I'm just looking forward to getting back and doing whatever He's got, whatever He has for me. And so, to people that are interested, I'm not laying up in a bed dying. I'm working out. I'm actually doing, I hope my radiologist doesn't hear this, but I'm doing 30 push-ups a day. And I'm doing seated squats, doing one-legged squats, 60, and I'm doing I'm running 3 miles on the elliptical. I'm doing toe raises and neck, and I'm doing a little light dumbbell stuff. So God's helped me get this energy back to work out and hopefully not break any bones. But I just want people to know that's what's going on. I'm not just sitting around thinking, oh, me, and so thankful for the support. I've gotten financial support. I've gotten, prayer support, and it's just been great. So very thankful. I want them to know that.
Well, Doug Smith, just know that you and your family are in our prayers and thoughts. We love you a lot. We wish you the best, and I appreciate you joining us today for One-on-One.
Absolutely, Dennis. Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate Doug Smith joining us today for our One-on-One segment.